When it comes to poverty, the problem is not that people are lazy. When it comes to working, the problem is that people are overworked. They work too much, the pay is small, and the cost of living is too high. And this is a dangerous combination for maybe 140 million of us. And let's not take into account emergencies and unexpected things because it's life and life happens. So imagine this, you make $10 an hour, $16 an hour, $20 an hour, it's good money. You can make $36 an hour, get yourself a decent house, inflation comes, the home gets too expensive, now you can't even buy it. Or maybe you can buy it, but you're using up all of your money. Food is high, you can hardly pay for it. Maybe you have to pay for unexpected stuff because life happens, accidents, you get sick, whatever. And now all of your money is thrown out the window. And you have to work maybe 2 jobs, 16 hours a day, sometimes, in order to just pay off all of this mess. You see, that person is not lazy, they're overworked, and they're basically getting almost nothing for their money, nothing extra. That is the problem today. Welcome to the United States and the rest of the world. These countries are rich, but only for maybe 1% or less of the population who do succeed. Why do so few people succeed? It's because of competition. That's what capitalism is. There's goods and bads of capitalism, so let's start with the goods. Opportunity. You can own your own business, own your own capital. You can rise to the top. The downside, it's a competition. You rise to the top, that means most other people lose. It's like the Olympic Games. Not everybody can win. There's 10 people in the sprinting field and you're all gonna run. Who's gonna win? Usain Bolt. He's gonna be number 1. But you have these other great people who run faster than 10 seconds in the 100 meters. Guess what? 2nd place, 3rd place, 4th place, 5th place, 6th place, you name it. They all lost. It's the same thing with capitalism. Somebody's going to succeed, go to the top. He's going to be the business owner. He's going to be in charge of the American dream incarnate. Oh, and for the rest of us, you and me, we're at his mercy. We are the working class. The working class is basically the 80-90% of us who are just working under the managers. Some of us will be managers. We answer to higher managers who make more and have more power. Oh, and guess what? Only maybe 5% of the company will be managers. Maybe 10% if it's generous. That means the other 90% of us, we're working for somebody else. So much for capitalism. Don't forget, capitalism means opportunity, but opportunity does not mean you're guaranteed to win. It means somebody, maybe 10% or less, will rise to the top. The other 90% of us, no, we can work for them, but our pay may not be so good, and the cost of living is so high in the United States of America that we will struggle painfully slow. So there you go, that's capitalism. The good side is opportunity. Neutral points is not guaranteed. Only one will win. There will be 2nd and 3rd places just like in a sprint, but sorry, even if you work hard, sometimes you just don't get lucky and life happens and emergencies happen and all this stuff happens. Somebody might outwork you, somebody might be lucky. There can be sexism, racism, other kind of isms, networking stuff. At some point, whatever the case is, 90% of you will probably be at the mercy of somebody else. Now for the bad part of capitalism, competition, greed. What happens when somebody's greedy? Oh, they want money. What happens when they want money? They will work you to death. And since you're at their mercy, working your 9-to-5 job, you do what they tell you to do, or you're fired and you're expendable and they hire somebody else. No love, no care, so pure, cold-hearted. Capitalism is pure business sense. It's not designed for humanitarian aims. It doesn't have that human touch to it. It's cold and calculating like a robot and computer. And you know what? Yeah, that's fine with the system because sometimes people just don't care. They want you to work for them or get thrown out the window. And like any computer, it doesn't have feelings. The system doesn't have feelings. And some people act like computers. They want money, money, money. They see you as statistics and numbers, and they'll throw everybody out the window. Such greed. If you happen to be lucky, you'll be a boss someday, and you'll be higher up in a company until you screw up and get yourself fired. And then, well, they don't care about that. If you're both lucky and good and skilled and have all the right stuff and you have people coming to you, customers coming to you and they like your product, you can become the business owner. What will you do? Will you be humanitarian toward people and have feelings, or will you be cold and calculating, look at the numbers and the money? It's up to you. But capitalism encourages cold-hearted money. And if you're not cold-hearted and calculating like a politician, you're out. The negative side of capitalism is most of us will lose. There's opportunity, only one will get that gold medal. Number 2, number 3 will get their silver and bronze medals. The rest of us, sorry, even if you're a great worker, you're out. You're at the mercy of somebody else. And finally, we have benefits like SNAP. We have an element of socialism after all. It's capitalism, yes, but it's capitalism and it's a mixed economy. But we have something called SNAP and governmental programs to help people go up. Once they make a certain amount of threshold from these programs, they cut your wings off and you're struggling down because you can no longer get SNAP and governmental assistance because you make enough money to not be poor. So basically you're getting sort of free money because you're poor to help you go up, to fly up, so to say. And now it cuts off one of your wings and now you're struggling even more than when you had that program. Such is the downside of being in the USA, a country that you and I love, but every country has its flaws. And to cut down this net of socialism when you have enough money is also a flaw. Other countries may not have it in Europe. Other countries may keep those programs, and child income or assistance for children to grow up and other assistance for schools and things can be in European countries, but they're not here in the USA. Things are just so darn expensive. You work, you get loans, you gotta pay your rent. Accidents happen, you're screwed because you're in the 90%. You can get governmental programs, you make enough money, get cuts, and now you have to struggle. Such irony. But those are a few thoughts for poverty and why poverty exists. Oh yes, and by the way, people like you and me can work hard, have 2 jobs, and be overworked, and still be kind of poor because the cost of living is high. And even if you're not poor, you're just one emergency away from being poor. You just be in a car crash. Gun violence can happen. It doesn't have to be your fault. Some accident can happen. You could fall, slip, bad weather, you name it, coronavirus, other virus, disease. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's an accident, accidents happen in life and you have no choice but to go through that accident and pay up a lot of money. And because the systems and cost of living are so high when it comes to healthcare and when it comes to paying for rent, food, and accidents, you're gonna be poor unless you succeed. And if in order to succeed, you need some luck, not just hard work, and certainly not to be overworked. Those are my thoughts for poverty and why it exists even in the richest country in the world. It's a global problem that has to be solved. So comment below. See you later.